may be able to help solve a mystery.
For the diehard fans of crime and mystery, Robert Stack's popular TV show, Unsolved, is definitely to watch for. For us Filipinos, we remember Noli de Castro's Magandang Gabi, Bayan as the best choice for all things bizarre and horrifying. Simply put, unsolved mysteries hold on enigmatic appeal that may leave some of us glued on our TVs. This just proves that the truth will always be stranger than fiction at the end of the day. Come with us and take a look at 5 supernatural unsolved mysteries in the Philippines. The Miracle of the Roses.
It's the weirdest thing.
On September of 1948, one of the most controversial Marian apparitions in Philippine history occurred inside the Carmelite monastery of Lipa. Sister Teresita Castillo was just a 21-year-old novice at the time, but what she witnessed took the Catholic Church by storm. She was praying at the convent garden when a beautiful lady on a cloud suddenly appeared, dressed in white cloth with her right hand holding a golden rosary. The lady identified herself as the Lady Mediatrix of All Grace. Among the 15 apparitions that appeared since then includes a shower of fragrant petals which also show images of Jesus, Mary, and other biblical events, criticisms and negative publicity for Sister Teresing to leave the convent in the 1950s. Initial investigations dismissed the apparitions as non-supernatural. But when a bishop confessed in his deathbed that he was forced to sign the agreement, the case was reopened in 1991. In 2010, the current Archbishop of Lipa released a declaration stating the Vatican ruling of the 1948 apparitions as not supernatural. The Miracle of the Roses remains a venerated mystery up to this day.
Do I believe in dead people floating around saying, ooh?
UFO sightings in Las Piñas.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
We may not have reports that could surpass Roswell UFO incident, but local sightings in recent years might prove that aliens do exist. People in the 90s, for instance, were shocked when actor-turned-environmentalist Roy Alvarez reported of close encounters with aliens even in his dreams. Then, at the turn of the millennium, we were introduced to the then 37-year-old Antonio Tony Israel of Las Piñas, whose video footage of UFO incident drew flack from Pag-asa investigation team. Incidentally, Tony was again involved in this bizarre phenomenon in 2004, when 3 of his young neighbors saw several reddish metallic glares flying across the partly cloudy skies in Mabolo Street Verdant Acres, Pamplona, Las Piñas City. Neither a team from the United Nations led by Dr. Jin Chu nor the Philippine Weather Bureau was able to draw a conclusion from the 2000 Las Piñas sighting. Although initial investigations ruled out a possible fabrication, the lack of evidence was enough to leave the case unclosed. UFOs and aliens remain a debatable issue that's sometimes described by religious groups as a depiction of the devil or fallen angels destined to rule mankind. Gil Peréz, the teleporting soldier.
Did you think you were the only one?
Gil Peréz was just an ordinary Spanish soldier and member of the Filipino Guardia Civil during the 16th century. But on October 24, 1593, he suddenly found himself in Plaza Mayor, Mexico City, almost 9,000 nautical miles away from Manila. The bizarre teleportation incident was never believed by the Mexicans, and Peréz was jailed because people thought he was a servant of Satan. When asked about what happened, the confused soldier told the authorities that prior to the incident, he was just resting against a wall inside the Palacio del Gobernador in the Philippines. As a proof, he told them that the Governor General Gomez Perez das Marinas was just killed by Chinese pirates and all the guards were just waiting for the replacement. 2 months later, a Manila galleon brought news from the Philippines that confirmed every detail recounted by Peréz. In fact, one of the passengers testified that he had seen Peréz in the Philippines on October 23 and led an eventful life thereafter. The story of Gil Peréz left some historians baffled and skeptical at the same time. For one, the event was never documented until 100 years later, and without accurate secondary sources, it would be a challenging task to confirm whether this incident is just an urban legend or not.
It's not true. It's bullshit.
The Romblon Triangle.
Stop! Get out of the water! Get out of the water!
Writer and researcher Alden Alag first coined the term Romblon Triangle to describe the area covering northern Romblon province, dubbed as the local version of the infamous Bermuda Triangle. This cursed area is blamed for almost 40 maritime disasters that have occurred since the early 80s. These include the MV Don Juan tragedy in 1980, the MV Doña Paz tragedy December 1987, and MV Princess of the Stars tragedy in June 21, 2008. Native Romblomanians have heard stories about the mythical Lolo Amang and his golden ship. Legend has it that prior to any maritime disaster, the mysterious ship would show up to seafarers once the sea turns pitch black. It doesn't give a real explanation on how Romblon Triangle has claimed many lives. Philippine Coast Guard, on the other hand, compares Romblon Triangle to EDSA and believes that the disaster were either caused by typhoons or navigational errors. Yamashita's Lost Treasure.
Take it for me!
The name Yamashita is almost synonymous to a single theme, treasure hunting. Such was its impact to gold hunters that for the last few decades, after General Tomoyoku Yamashita's death, the search for the legendary treasure has lingered on. According to legend, the aptly named Yamashita's Gold is a collective term for numerous war loots amassed by the Japanese forces from its different conquests across Southeast Asia. General Yamashita's original plan was to hide the treasure in the Philippines and then transfer it to Japan via warships. Once the American forces take over, as we all know, Yamashita was captured, tried, and executed forever, locking the treasure inside the vault of secrecy. Although Yamashita's gold has long been considered as the holy grail of treasure hunting, some experts continue to doubt its existence. One of them is UP professor Rico Jose, who insisted that by 1943, Japan was no longer in control of Philippine seas, so the idea of bringing in something valuable when you know it's going to be lost to the Americans makes no sense. However, the criticisms toward the authenticity of Yamashita's treasure forgot to remember the strange case of Filipino hunter Roger Rojas, who allegedly discovered a part of Yamashita's treasure in Baguio. And then, there's the former First Lady Imelda Marcos, who admitted publicly that the late president actually used and sold gold treasures to help the country survive economic struggles in the 1960s and 1970s. True or not, Yamashita's treasure remains one of the most intriguing mysteries ever to set foot in the Philippines.
Perhaps he found it irresistible. Perhaps he just doesn't like Tojo.
You don't have to go treasure hunting to enjoy more of our great videos. All you have to do is click that subscribe button and bang that bell to join our notification squad.
Perhaps that someone is watching. Perhaps it's you.